Hello, welcome to Taking Flight. I'm Jerry Hunt, Director of Public Information here at Rockingham Community College. And joining me today is John Pendleton, and he is our program lead for the Mechatronics Engineering Technology program. It's a mouthful.
That's right, it is a mouthful.
Well, thank you for joining me today.
Oh, you're welcome, thank you.
So you had a bunch of classes this morning.
Yeah, we have a summer course going, so this is our motors and controls. It gives students who may be a little bit behind, that started maybe instead of the normal August started in January, it gives them a chance to get caught back up.
Okay, all right. So for someone who doesn't know anything about, or doesn't know the term mechatronics, what is it?
Yeah, so mechatronics is sort of an unusual word, and we're still having a lot of issues making sure that people are familiar with it. So mechatronics, the first part is mech, that's mechanical side of it. Tronics is electronics. But the A in the middle, I think of automation that ties everything together to mechanical. Back when I started in industry, in textiles, there were electricians, which I was, and then there were mechanics. And we worked together, but they did their thing and I did my thing. But now, since everything is so automated and everything is sensorized, that the technician that they're looking for needs to know mechanical. They need to know pneumatics, they need to know electrical, and they need to know how everything works together. So that is the mechatronics technician. They're the person that can do it all.
Okay, so does robotics fall underneath that?
Robotics is definitely. Robotics is mechanical, it's electrical, and there is a computer program that ties everything together. So robotics is a huge part of the automation industry.
All right, I wanted to get that out there because I know that's what a lot of people think of is just robotics, and they haven't necessarily heard the term mechatronics.
Gotcha, yeah.
So how long have you been here?
So I'm going on my third year,
okay.
And this is our third year of the mechatronics program. So I was hired to run the mechatronics program when we started, and we just got our first batch of graduates that graduated in May, and I think just about all of them are out working in industry now.
Oh, wow. That's incredible.
Yeah,
I mean, it's only June.
Yeah, I know, yeah. And that's the thing, like the demand in our area, especially in surrounding areas, is so high for mechatronics technicians that, we're actually getting a lot of people that want to do internships with my students while they're still in school. Apprenticeships is a big thing. So the opportunities for someone in mechatronics to make a really good living, typically the starting pay that I'm seeing is in the $27 to $33 an hour range, and puts them right in middle class right when they leave.
So your students that are enrolling, are they like just graduating high school and coming, or are they adults coming back for retraining or just upskilling, or is it our current high school students that are taking classes here?
So there's a huge variety of students we have. So we have the new CTE Innovative High School, which just started. So those students will be transitioning into college courses here in 10th, 11th, and 12th grade as well. So they'll be getting college courses through the mechatronics program. We have the CCP, the Career Promise for our traditional high school students at 11th and 12th grade. So they're here on campus taking mechatronics, electrical systems courses. And then we have students that have graduated high school and want to earn that associate's degree, so they come in. But we also have a lot of students who are currently working. Maybe it's not the job they want to do, but they want to come back and get upskilled and be able to do that. So we also offer some exciting short-term training opportunities. So we have some short-term courses to where students can come in about 14 weeks, 2 nights a week. We try to offer it at nighttime and during the day and rotate it back and forth so we can capture all the populations. And they can come in and get industry recognized credentials, up to 11 credentials just by taking that one course. And it really gives them a really fast-paced introduction to mechatronics. A lot of the students that take that sign up for the 2-year degree, but a lot of them just want to get that basic knowledge to where they can sort of upskill with their current job.
So if they're here for the 2-year degree, are they earning those credentials along the way?
They are. So we have those credentials embedded in every one of our courses. They're free of charge to the student. We do NC3, which are industry recognized credentials. It's a national coalition center. I'm a master instructor for NC3, so I get the opportunity to go around the United States and train other instructors to do it to theirs. But we at Rockingham Community College, we're a little unique. We offer all level 1 and level 2 NC3 credentials. Not a lot of schools offer that. So there's there's up to about 33 credentials that a student can gain
Wow.
free of charge just by taking courses here and getting the program. So if the student, something happens and they have to quit the program, life happens, they don't leave empty-handed. They've got these credentials that they're adding to their resume.
That's incredible. 33.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah.
So what kind of background, I guess, is recommended for somebody who might be interested? I mean, are you looking at people that are good with math or engineering or?
Math is extremely important
Right.
in the engineering field, and especially this. But the way we try to focus our program here is not to focus so much on the math, because it is a little scary for some students coming out of high school and some that have been out of high school a long time to come back in. So we try to make the math to where they don't even really realize they're doing the math.
Right.
If we can take that math and apply it to something that they're doing in the lab with their hands on and let them do it in a lab setting, then it doesn't really seem like math. So really all we need is just somebody that's got a real willingness to learn, that really wants it. And then, typically any student that comes in can, if they have that willingness to learn, then they're gonna succeed.
Well, with a program like this, obviously it's a lot of hands-on. How much of it is like them sitting here listening to you lecture versus hands-on?
Very little lecture, especially in my classes, because I've noticed when I first started, I made a lot of mistakes that I thought it was going to be more lecture than hands-on. But as I get into talking to industry, and it only took me one semester to figure out that students really, and myself included, really work better when they're working with their hands instead of listening to me. So we try to keep our lecture time down to 30 minutes to 45 minutes at a time. After about that, students are starting to zone out a little bit. So then we'll take what we learn and we'll go into the lab and we'll start applying what we learn. And in the lab is a great opportunity to stop in the middle and start talking about what we're doing and some of the problems that we're seeing without having to do a formal lecture.
Right.
So most of my classes, we try to aim around 80% hands-on. Sometimes we get upper of 90%.
How many students are typically in a classroom? Like how many can you accommodate?
Our enrollment has really grown. So when we first started, I only had like six students in the program. The second year we got up to like 18. Right now I think we're in the 30s, mid-30s or so, and we got a new batch coming in this time. We try to limit, in some courses like mechanisms, we try to limit the number of students to 12 because we have 6 trainers and we don't want to get more than 2 per trainer. Other classes we can go a little bit higher. Others but we try to keep them around 16 to 18 students per class. That way we make sure that the students get that individualized hands-on learning.
So, you were talking about, the graduates, your first class of graduates, and they're all working now in the field. You must be pretty well connected with people in the industry, and how are you making sure that the equipment that you're using is on par with what they need?
Yeah. So our program advisory committee, we shorten it for PAC meeting. We have those twice a year. So we make sure that we get industry in here to make sure that we're doing what we should be doing. We really value their feedback because they're the ones that are seeing new trends coming through in the industries. So we want to make sure we get the feedback from industry. So we have a really good PAC of industries from around Rockingham County, Guilford County, Forsyth, that come and really pour into our students and make sure that that we're doing what we should be doing for our students and learning about that new equipment that they're going to be training on.
So the equipment that you're using is what they're using?
Yeah, yeah. Most of the equipment, especially in the robotics lab, we a lot of colleges you go to, you may see one brand of robot, but we thought it was important to make sure students really had access to different manufacturers. So in our robotics lab, we have Universal Robots, which is like the leading collaborative robots. Those are robots that are made to work hand in hand with humans.
Right.
Then we have KUKA, we have FANUC, and then we have ABB. So students in this class, they really get to learn on different robots, and it really prepares them better for a career in robotics.
So when they're learning on this equipment, what would they be doing in industry? I mean, specifically, using this equipment.
Yeah, so we're learning how to program it, but more importantly, we're learning how to make the robot do common things that we would see in industry. For example, this robot here is actually taking taking a jar and simulating like a peel manufacturer maybe. They have to remove the lid. The robot has to remove the lid, fill it with a certain color code of marbles, and then put the lid back on it, and then palletize it on the other side. So it's not just programming the robot, it's making it do something that they would have to do in industry.
So are they sitting on a computer doing all that?
No, they're doing it all right here in
Wow.
front of the robot. Now you can program the robot from a computer and simulate it. We also teach that. But I really like them to be in front of the robot to be programming. That way they get that instant feedback.
Right. All right. So walk us through some of this stuff that you have here and just a typical, I guess, project that somebody would be working on.
Yeah. So this would be a project here to where the students are using these jars. We have sensors all in this one. So the robot is being programmed to wait until that sensor is triggered, which means that there's a product there ready to go. On the KUKA against the back one, that one there, they're actually picking and placing with different mechanisms, but they're also tracing that unique shape without having to touch the side. So that's something that's unique. We actually had a group of students with one of our FANUCs build a Lincoln log house, which is very, very challenging. But even programming the robot was hard, but making sure that they have everything set up to be able to do it is also just as challenging. So we challenge them in a lot of different ways in this program.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. So what is this? I mean, this thing's going. What is?
This is just another universal robot. This is a newer one we got, which is going to implement a conveyor. So I just ran a course on this one with an industry where they came in and brought their technicians to learn it. So we got this new robot. This one here is just moving around right now, just showing you typical movements that a robot would make.
So if somebody's interested in the mechatronics program, but they might be intimidated by it, how would you talk to them?
So what I try to tell them is that if they come in for the 2-year degree or they take the short term, what we try to do is there's really, in my opinion, there's 3 basic parts. There's the mechanical side, there's the electrical side, and then there's the fluid power, where pneumatics. So that very first year, we try to get that core built into them. Once they learn that core and they're really good with that, then everything else is adding on to that and taking it to another level. So if we focus on making sure that they're really good at those core topics in mechanisms, fluid power, and electrical systems, then I really see a huge success when we get into motors and controls, when we get into robotics, when we get into automation and some of the other classes. So really, what I try to tell them to do, if you have a willingness to learn and you're ready and you're eager and you want to better yourself, then you're going to succeed if you apply yourself.
So is all of your equipment NC3?
So all of the equipment we have, so to be able to offer the NC3 certification, we have to have at least one piece of that equipment on campus to be able to offer it. It's really expensive. Those trainers, sometimes can range $30,000 and way up depending on what the trainer is. For example, our AC/DC trainers, that's one of the core courses for our electrical systems and mechatronics that I really want to make sure the students get it when they leave that class. So those trainers, are $15,000 a trainer, and we just can't afford enough trainers for each individual student. So what we've had to do is we were getting students in groups of 2 and 3. And we're finding, when you get in students in that large of a group, not every student is participating like they should. So what we've done this year is we've designed a new trainer, and it's really a low-cost trainer. So leadership, we built one as a prototype up, showed it to college leadership. They were excited about it. That's what we're doing now this summer is we're building up 40 of those trainers. That will allow each individual student, when they come into AC/DC electricity, to have their own personalized trainer. They're going to learn how to strip wire. They're going to learn how to connect wire to terminal blocks. They're going to learn how to install components those first 2 weeks, and then they'll have that trainer throughout the whole semester just for them. So we're really excited about that. That's going to give our students in electrical systems and mechatronics that individualized hands-on training that I think is really, really important.
So does that include the PLC?
In our PLC lab, those trainers for NC3 certifications are upwards of $30,000 a trainer. They're really expensive too. And that is another class, PLC programming, to where you can't really get into groups of two because we're behind a computer, we're programming the PLC, we're doing troubleshooting. So I need to make sure that the students are individualized in that class as well. There's another trainer that we just designed. We're building up this summer. We're going to have Siemens and Allen Bradley, so students get their hands on two of the leading manufacturers of PLCs. They'll be able to switch back and forth throughout the semester, and we're building up that trainer with industry sensors, switches, and each student will have their very own. So our PLC lab was really good, but it's sort of outdated now. It's sort of outdated its time. So this gives us a good opportunity to refresh it and get the students programming in something they're going to see in real life.
Right. And well, I know, I guess it was maybe last summer, you were teaching some high school students. Was it high school teachers?
Yes.
It was STEM training?
It was a STEM training we did last summer for a group of CTE teachers from Rockingham schools. So we taught them this certification, Fundamentals of Mechatronics. It's geared toward high school students. But we use that equipment in our automation classes too. But we train different CTE high school teachers from around the county how to offer that credential to their students. In fact, they're in Bethany Community School, the teacher that we trained has already offered this credential 2 semesters to their students. So they come borrow our equipment, take them out, teach our students, and it's really fun seeing the videos of them, because in those they're really making something happen. So whenever they can program something and see it happen, there's that little bit of excitement.
Yeah, wow. And that was one of my questions was, do they have the equipment? So they're using our equipment
They're
there.
using ours. That was part of the grant. We were able to purchase a couple of other sets of that equipment for us, but more importantly, to be able to loan it out to the schools that may not be able to afford it.
Right. Well, that's pretty cool, having a pipeline.
No, I know, and it gives us a good pipeline for bringing students in.
Yeah. So when students do the 2-year associate degree, is there an opportunity for them to go on to a university and do like engineering type stuff?
So there are some universities that will accept Rockingham Community College credit, and they can go right into that 2-year university. I think our president, Dr. Cox, really has a goal for us to be able to expand that out to more colleges. So I'm hoping here in the future that we'll be able to do that and be able to give students an opportunity, if they want to go for that 4-year degree, an opportunity to be able to transfer the credits directly in.
Great. All right. So with all the industries, are you doing any customized training with any of them?
So we do a lot of customized training through our customized training department. So we had one industry come in that wanted the level 1 NC3 mechatronics fundamental. So I think they brought 12 students in, 10 to 12 students, and we ran them through that curriculum, and they all got 11 NC3 credentials as part of that, and then they were upskilled a little bit and a little bit more familiar with what they're doing. We do robotics custom courses, we do fluid power, so anything that an industry wants to focus on, then we're capable of doing it here.
Well, that's great. We're like a one-stop shop.
Yeah.
From the students all the way up.
All the way up
through the adults in industry.
Yeah.
All right. Well, is there anything else that you wanted to throw in there?
No, I don't think so. I mean, we're just really excited about the program. We feel like we have a really good program here at Rockingham Community College. We feel like ours is the best, and I think our students really enjoy it. Every time our students come in and take these courses, because they're so involved in hands-on learning, you see those moments to where the student may not quite get something when we're talking about it in the classroom, but when they come out into the lab and then it starts clicking and making sense, and then it just makes it so much easier for them the rest of the class.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're super excited about what we have going on. We've got a couple of we applied for an NSF grant to where we're hoping to integrate more of IT technology into mechatronics, because as you get into industry now, it's not just being able to fix the machine. Everything is connected together. So the students really need to understand how that connection is happening. So we're hoping to get this NSF grant that will allow us to offer a credential that takes IT students and learns them a little bit about mechatronics, and then we have our mechatronics students that will learn more about the IT. So another exciting opportunity.
Wow. All right. Well, if anybody's interested, how can they find out more?
Yep, so anybody who's interested in joining the program, just go to rockinghamcc.edu. If you're in the area, stop by the Center for Workforce Development. This is where all of our mechatronics and electrical systems classes are taught. We'd love to give you a tour. There's always our Dean, David Dillard, is always excited to give tours. There may be an instructor around. You just come in and look around. This is the county's building, so we want to make sure that it's always accessible. So just come in and let us tour you around and show you more about the program.
And you mentioned the county, and I have to throw it out there, the 1/4-cent sales tax paid for this entire building.
No, absolutely,
So,
because
yeah.
we're really blessed to have state-of-the-art equipment. This is equipment that is brand new within a couple of years. Everything that we have in here is brand new. Students really have a great opportunity, and it's like when students come in and they're touring around, I say to myself, if I can get them walking through, we're not going to lose them, because once they see this amazing building, so much natural light coming in, such a great atmosphere to learn, they're hooked once we walk them through. So if we can get them in the building and show them around, we very rarely lose them.
Great. All right. Well, thank you so much
Yep,
for letting me stop in today and talk with you about your program.
Yeah, thank you.
And thank y'all for joining us with Taking Flight, and we will see y'all next time.